Good evening and welcome to the Star Chambers Show live podcast. It is episode number 480, and it is a great Wednesday evening here in Lexington, Kentucky, where I, Stephen Zimmer, am broadcasting to you from. And great to have everybody listening in. Chat room is, of course, open, and just by a hair, award-winning author, filmmaker, and screenwriter Amy McCorkle was the first in the chat room tonight. just a hair after that was the amazing Carol Preflatish, also an award-winning screenwriter and author. So, yes, I tell you, we are going to get prizes for that one of these days. Don't currently have that in place just yet, but one of these days we will. We definitely will. And joining me in the co-hosting chair tonight in just a few minutes is going to be the vivacious, the loquacious, and the audacious Holly Phillippe. And we've got a great guest tonight making a Star Chamber Show debut, who I'm really excited about having on the show tonight. Fantastic creative talent, and I can't wait for you all to meet tonight's guest. It's coming up here. And after the first segment, of course, we are affiliated with the Imaginarium Convention. So we'd like to give you all the updates that we can on what's happened in the last week. And so I'm going to go through quite a bit tonight because, well, we've got a lot of activity going on. We've gotten a lot of guest forms in just in the last several days. We had a lot of announcements and a lot of activity because we just last week opened up the Imagine Award nominations. Of course, we also added two categories. Now we have Best Western Novel and also Best Magazine Periodical have both been added as categories. So we've expanded. We always try to add like one or two a year. This year we added two. So check that out if you get a chance. Nominations are open for any title published in 2025. So anything even coming out in November, December, anything there is fine for nomination. That's why our window for nominations is open until February the 2nd. And so check it out. There's no charge to nominate a title. You can do that on the Imaginarium site. And there's a whole slew of categories covering a full range of genres. We also cover songwriting. We also cover song lyrics, poetry. We have comics and graphic novels, audiobook narration as well. So there's a lot of categories. So check them out. Be sure to read through them and find the appropriate one for your title. Definitely excited about the response. We've gotten a lot of nominations already. So yeah, it's an active time to say the least. But I'd rather be busy than not busy, right, folks? So yes, it looks like we got the chat room is chugging, so I'll try to keep an eye on it while we wait for Holly to log in. She's usually the best at keeping an eye on the chat room. But I do want to give you the updates for Imaginarium, of course. We've added a lot of spotlighted guests and panelists over the last week. So one spotlighted guest that we are welcoming is award-winning author, editor, publisher, and podcaster Liz Carey. And she is the editor-in-chief of Heritage Link Press. And they will also be exhibiting as well in the expo. Really looking forward to having Liz be a guest for the first time. You definitely should look up the shows that we've had with Liz. We've had a couple of them, and just a great creative talent running a wonderful new small press that just opened in July of this past summer. So definitely check that out. Of course, I already mentioned the nominations for the 2026 Imagine Awards are open. And then we also announced, too, that we have the discounted hotel room block. It's now open for reservations. Get your reservations in early. They don't charge your card until the actual, the show actually happens. It's good to get the reservations set because the last 2 years the hotel has sold out of room availability. So you want to definitely do that. You can get the discounted room block rate. There's a link on our site under the menu option for hotel, and you can see all the information, get the direct reservation link, and do that. Then we also welcomed aboard, of course, returning the amazing award-winning USA Today best-selling author Hallie Bridgman, and she is just absolutely fantastic. She sold over 1 million books independently. I mean, just an amazing, amazing author, and we are really excited to have her back with us next summer. We also announced as panelists editor, author, and publisher Marion Allen of those fine folks in Purbostet Publications, and author and editor Kelly Ferguson is also returning. Yeah, Kelly's fantastic. And then we also added two other panelists, author, actor, and poet Kimberly Hoffman. And we also welcoming for the very first time to Imaginarium as a panelist is D. Mark Haynes, an author, D. Mark Haynes. Then we announced award-winning actor, voice actor, and puppeteer Nate Beagle as a spotlighted guest. And Nate has quite the resume. He's worked with industry giants like the Jim Henson Company, Sesame Street, Universal Studios, and the Walt Disney Company, and done a lot of commercial branding work and voiceover work, and has his own studio, and just a phenomenal guest to have aboard. And we announced him as well. Just a couple of days ago, we announced that filmmaker, author, paranormal investigator, and historian Paula Kelly, and author, filmmaker, musician, and actor Gavin Kelly will also be coming as spotlighted guests. And they are the founders of Phantasmic Ghost Hunters, and they also launched the Shadows Entertainment Group back in 2015. They have a show that is actually on Amazon. Their series is called Paranormal Journey into the Unknown, and that's on Amazon. And then it is great show, and they are great folks, very, very multi-talented folks. They are also, as I mentioned, authors. Both of them have books out. And then we also welcomed production executive and distribution executive Roxanne Warren as a spotlighted guest, and she is with the fine folks at Green Apple Entertainment, who participated with us for the first time last year, and we are really looking forward to having Roxanne be there in person. If you remember, she was just a virtual guest last year, but she will be there in person this year. We also have author and poet W.B.J. Williams as an official panelist, and also author N.V. Haskell. And both of them are coming to Imaginarium for the very first time. And WBJ Williams will be a guest, I believe, toward the end of November on the Star Chamber show. So you will get a chance to meet him and find out about his work. And then the last announcement that we made today was we also welcomed artist, actor, podcaster, and paranormal researcher Rachel D'Amico as a spotlighted guest. And she is also an amazing paranormal investigator and researcher who's made a lot of contributions to the field, and her work's been featured in numerous publications and conferences, and appears a lot of conventions, and just a fantastic guest who I'm really excited to have added. So yeah, as you can tell, it's been really busy, and we got a lot of great folks aboard. And speaking of great folks aboard, the amazing Holly Phillippe is live.
I am here.
That was a lot of updates. That took a few minutes.
Makes me tired even thinking about it.
But some good ones. I mean, that was
Yes,
there's
yes,
some names that our audience has not heard yet, some that are familiar to them, and it's cool
yes.
to see that balance. It is really cool, and just keeps getting better and better. I mean, yeah, we've got just an amazing roster so far, and we're far from done. we,
Yeah,
we hope,
we just got started, right? So, yeah,
we were
interesting
hoping
year.
We were hoping to have another guest of honor announcement for you tonight, but that hasn't been finalized. I mean, we're on
Not
the
yet.
verge of it, but
We're on the verge. I'm
we're hoping
working
by
on it. I'm
next
working
week
on it.
we'll have a very big one to tell you about. So, but is there anything before we go to our sponsors for the evening? Is there anything you wanted to give update wise, Holly?
No, just been extremely busy, and yeah, we've had a lot going on here at home, and
You don't
yeah,
say.
some health scares, and for all you listening that does know Metal Beck, the inherited daughter, my grandchildren's mother, she decided, yes, to have a grand mal seizure, tonic clonic on us Friday night. We had to call the ambulance, and yes, so yeah, she was on a ventilator for a couple
Adventures,
days.
yeah,
Yeah, it's been
yeah,
adventures, and she's home now. She's we're watching her like a hawk, but
all good.
yeah, she's
Yep,
home. No further seizures. No, we think everything will be fine. But yeah,
everything checked out. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's really tired and her throat's a little sore, and she's been through the mill, and the kids have, but we're all
Yeah.
holding down the fort, and
Oh yes. But we hope to
staying
get
busy
Metal
as
back.
always.
We'll have her pop on the show again because that was
Yes,
fun to have Metal back on when we could
when
back in the day, and maybe
she
now
could
she's gonna be
talk
taking
and
a little
not cough.
downtime.
Yes,
Yeah, we can get her
she's got
back on the show to say a few things.
yeah, she's got a little touch of pneumonia where she aspirated a little bit.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah,
So
she's a little out of
she's
breath right now and coughing a little bit. But yeah, she's up and running again.
yeah,
Yeah, been upstairs most of the day. Was in here watching
yeah.
stuff and resting while
Right.
I was working earlier. So yeah.
Keep her in your thoughts and prayers, though. Yeah, because
Yes,
she is,
please
like
do.
I said, everything checked out well, but it's
Yeah,
not
it was
the
scary.
yeah. So yeah, it's not the most calm thing to go through, for sure. But
No.
yeah, she's back home and resting up. So, but yeah, tonight's show is brought to you by Sandy Lander, the Genre Blender, and the fine folks at Per Bastet Publications. Of course, we just mentioned that Marion Allen is confirmed as a guest for next summer, along, of course, with Teely Harris and Sarah Marion. And so we'll give you a little bit about them first, and then we'll shoot over to give you a little bit from Sandy. So here we go. As far as make sure I got everything queued up right here. All right. Yeah, you got to check those things when you're doing live broadcasting. You got to be careful. You can't just click buttons, folks. Per Bastet Publications is a small press based in the Louisville metro area, specializing in speculative fiction and other outside the box books. With 40 titles in print and ebook formats and a handful of audiobooks, Per Bastet offers a little bit of everything. Check out Frenemies in Space, Marion Allen's new science fiction short story collection featuring return character Smartmouth Connie Phelan, or try Michael Dabney's latest David Blaze mystery, A Deadly Game, a prequel set in 1984 Philly. You can find these titles and more at perbastetpublications.com, at Amazon, or you can find the press in person at Kentucky and Indiana book fairs and conventions. Per Bastet Publications, where timeless tales unfold. And thank you to Literary Triumvirate for their support. Marion Allen, of course, Sarah Marion, and Teely Harris. And now a little bit from Sandy Lender, the Genre Blender. And folks, please subscribe to her channel. It's free. Go over to YouTube, look up Sandy Says Read channel. It's really good. Lots of great content. And a little more from Sandy about that.
Start Chamber listeners already know that author Sandy Lender offers you a variety of spec fiction and epic fantasy adventures to help you escape reality. Did you know she also offers positive, quirky book discussions and reviews on her BookTube channel, Sandy Says Read? Check out the Sandy Says Read channel on YouTube for over 600 book chats to entertain you. The channel includes the Indie Book Spotlight and the DIY for Creatives playlists, along with others to help you find videos and essays that pique your literary interests. Subscribe for free to the Sandy Says Read channel in time for the Monday night upload and join the community where our motto is, you can always find something good in a book.
And thank you, Sandy. As always, appreciate their steadfast support. Sandy Lander and Per Bastet folks. Of course, Ren Garcia. You know he's been very steadfast as well. So I'm going to move right along because we are right on time tonight for our guest segment. And I have a great guest for you all tonight. It is her first appearance on the Star Chamber Show, and she is a Kentucky author, artist, and educator. She is a national award-winning poet whose work has been included in numerous publications and literary journals, and her book, Uncommon Clay, was the first recipient of the National Mary Ballard Award. In addition to writing, she is a highly sought-after artist who specializes in fine art and murals. And she is also a guest at the Imaginarium Convention next summer. So it is my pleasure and honor to bring aboard the Star Chamber Show for the very first time, Darlene Franklin Campbell. Darlene, your mic should be on.
Okay.
There you are.
Can you hear me?
I can
We
hear
can
you.
hear you great.
Okay.
Fantastic.
Yay.
The technology is working so
Yes.
far.
It's good when it works.
As long as the battery holds out.
That's
Yes.
right. That's right.
Yeah, we're gonna get the budget so we have like 5 generators deep one day, and we'll make sure we're covered. But yeah, thankfully there's no tornadoes tonight. We've done that. We've had
We have
shows
done
during
that
tornadoes, and so
more than once.
But tonight it is a nice calm evening, and we're ready to talk with you because I'm excited. Because folks, I
Oh,
met
me too.
Darlene for the first time, and Bentley was with me. Young Bentley was with me, and it was at the 28th annual Gene Penn Lane celebration of Kentucky writers, and I had an absolute blast there. And then lo and behold, I got to see a fellow fantasy author, which is not always the case
Woohoo!
at a literary event. There's not, sometimes there's not a lot of speculative fiction, folks, and I was just so so good to see a fellow fantasy author there, and Darlene was able to come in at last minute and be a part of Imaginarium last year, and I've been learning more about what she does and her art and writing, and I'm telling you. You are a superb talent, and we've got a lot to talk about with you because
Yay.
yeah,
Thank
you do it.
you.
You do it all, and right now you're in the midst of a very cool book tour. Well, you got a lot of dates coming up ahead, and that's one thing on the show tonight we want to emphasize. But yeah, your Kroger tour. Tell
Yes.
us a little bit about what's going on.
Well, I kept noticing, I would go to all of these writers conventions, not Imaginarium. I had a wonderful time at Imaginarium, but I've been to so many writers conventions, and I would meet mostly other writers, and I'm like, I really want to meet readers. And I thought, well, where do readers go? And they go to the grocery store. They go to ordinary things. And I thought, that's what I need to do. So I came across this program called Authors in Grocery Stores, and
Uh-huh.
I reached out to them, and I signed a deal with them for a year, and they put me in I have access to every Kroger store in the state of Kentucky, the state of Tennessee, and in the Cincinnati area, seeing how Cincinnati, there's like South Cincinnati is actually on the Kentucky side of the river. So I'm really excited to get to travel the states of Kentucky and Tennessee and sit up in Kroger stores and meet people while they're grocery shopping. And I sold more books in the Kroger store than just about anywhere.
Yeah.
No, it's true because Collie and I have done
Yep.
two events at our local Kroger's where we did a books. Well, I came up with the concept, but doing books and
Kroger
bourbon.
liquor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kroger
Books and bourbon.
at
We
their spirit
Kroger liquor.
store, and
Mm-hmm.
and we and they were able to do a bourbon tasting alongside me being there to sign books and so forth, and I'm also a bourbon connoisseur, so it fit perfectly. And
And it's
and I'm telling
always
you,
successful.
yeah, you're
Always.
right. It's
Wow.
always successful whenever you're doing like an event like that, like you're doing, with the main grocery store part, because yeah, that's where the readers go. They have to get.
And I would like to say the first time
Yeah,
we done that, I outsold more bourbon than any
she
of the
did.
other salesmen have ever done in an hour.
She
That
did.
is really cool.
Yeah, it was like a mid priced Knob Creek offering, and she actually sold more bottles than their main salespeople usually could do when they did end stores,
Oh,
and
oh
so
my gosh.
so yeah, she
Oh
did.
my gosh.
But but you're
Well,
right.
everybody come in. I was like, "Hey, do you like bourbon? Do you read? Here, try some bourbon. Oh, check out our books.
Yeah,
You want
and
them to have the bourbon before they see the book.
That's exactly
correct,
right. Liquor them up.
very strategic.
Oh my gosh.
but but you're right, it does work,
It
and it's
does.
different when you're doing out of the box events like this,
Yes.
where it's not just a standard type book event. I mean,
Yeah.
it really does work, and you wouldn't believe the readers that are
Well, we
there.
tell people that all the time because if you
Yeah,
go to just a regular, just a book fair, and that's all it's there is authors. Period. Yeah, it's hard because
Yeah.
well, you're
for
knocking
hardback.
heads with a bunch of other authors, and there's usually not a ton of readers, and so they've got to split in between, and so yeah, it's hard. But yeah, if there's just a few authors and it's like a craft show or some kind of I don't know like a food expo or just something out of the box
Yes.
you go to. Yeah, I mean you pick up new readers too,
You
people that
do.
don't normally go to um book fairs and all this,
Right.
conventions are a little different because then you do have artists, you do have, other crafters, you do have, you know, filmmakers, people, promoting whatever they do. But yeah, it does make a difference.
Yeah, it really does. This weekend, I'm going to a craft fair. I live in Adair County, and we have. I don't know if you're familiar with the writer Janice Hope Giles, but she was a big time Kentucky author. Sold like 3 million books back in her day.
Well
So
done.
we have something called the Janice Hope Giles Society here, and every October, they have a craft fair. So I'm setting up at a craft fair this weekend. And
Fantastic. You'll do
Perfect
well.
spot. You'll
thank
do
you.
well.
You'll do well.
And then
Mm.
in November, I'm setting up at there's what they call a teepee village, sleep in a teepee in Campbellsville, Kentucky,
Ooh,
and they're
fun.
having an event to get books to send to the Pine Ridge Reservation in South Dakota, and
Oh,
I'm so excited to get to be a part of that. I don't know,
oh, that's neat.
there's something, my great passion in life is writing, and then my next great passion is to use that writing to help people love to read. I don't just want to
Right.
write. I just love to see people falling in love with books, whether they're physical books or digital books or audio books. I
Yep.
just love to see people love literature, and
Yes.
I'm so excited about that.
Yeah, same
Oh,
here.
that's
Yeah,
that's
definitely.
neat. I love that. And it's always fun to give back,
It is. It
When
is.
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Now you've got a few dates coming up on this Kroger tour because I noticed that you're coming to Lexington to our
Yeah.
Richmond Road location. So yeah, I wanted to get a little
Oh,
picture of these because I'm going to try my best to get out to that.
yes.
Oh,
When
Holly,
is
yay.
it?
I am hoping Holly's in town because she has to bounce
Well,
out.
when is it? And
For,
I'll let you know if
Um,
I am or not.
it's
It's iffy
October.
right now.
It's October 18th, and I'm going to be there from like 10 in the
Okay.
morning until like 6 at night, I think. I want to say 6. It might be 5. I think it's 6. And I was informed that there was a game going on. And please, 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 people, don't dislove me, not love me, because I don't keep up with sports very much. I'm a writer. I sit in the basement with my computer. You
I
know.
think that's the weekend of Scarefest.
Okay.
So I will be at Scarefest, but
oh no, oh
yeah,
no,
we will be at Scarefest.
yeah, yeah.
Um, the thing is, that'll be a lot more people in town. So
Oh, there'll be
that
a
Yay.
ton
should
of
go
people in
good for
town.
you because
Oh,
Woohoo.
yeah, more people will actually be here because
yeah.
that is, a big deal regionally. People come from Indiana, Ohio, Tennessee,
Well,
all around to
Well,
Scarefest.
if UK football is also playing that day, you're going
Oh
to have
man.
a gigantic influx of people from out of town,
Yes.
and with all the
Yeah.
tailgaters, they're going to be picking up stuff at grocery
Well,
Yep.
stores.
that's
True.
what I was going to say. People got to eat.
Yeah,
That's right. That's right.
because there's a very diehard tailgating thing that goes on with UK games. So yeah,
There will
you'll
be more. By gosh, you
yeah,
hit a double whammy.
yeah
So
traffic wise,
there's going to be tons of people here. So you should do
in
very
town.
well.
Yeah.
I guess I should comb my hair, right?
Yeah, that's right. Put on something pretty.
Put on something pretty.
That's right.
Uh,
Doll up.
I look like an epic fantasy science fiction writer.
Yeah.
There you go. Bring a tiara and yeah, cape, and you're good to go.
Well, it's October. Anything goes.
That's the
Halloween.
one month out of the year I can wear my witch hat and nobody looks at me funny. It tickles me to
Facts.
death.
Oh my gosh.
I get my use in October.
Yay.
Yeah,
Yeah, she does. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, she.
but that's awesome. I love it. Well, do you dress up any for when you do your signings? Because a lot of people do. Now, I know a lot of authors that will dress up like their characters or like their genre, at least, so people kind of know. I mean, I know people that actually do that. So, have you done that before?
Um, well, let's see. I haven't dressed up like any of the characters, but I do like wear in my novel Rise of the Dragon's Heir, which is book 1 in the Jandarian Chronicles, they have like a uniform that they wear. So, and it's black and silver. So a lot of times I'll just wear like the colors. And then I'll
Oh,
wear my little dragon pendant around my neck. Even though my dragon's not technically a real dragon, it's an alien that takes on the persona of a dragon.
That's cool.
oh,
So
Anything, Sandy Lander, I'm going to have to tell her to make sure to listen to this show because she loves
because Sandy
anything with
Linder will
dragons.
be wanting.
Yeah,
Well, I'm going to tell you,
yeah.
she'll
Well,
want to actually review one of your books
I
on
bet
the
she
show.
will. Yeah, I
I
bet
woo,
she
I love
will
guarantee
that.
you.
on her
Yes,
on
she's
her
got
YouTube channel. Yeah,
a
on the
YouTube
YouTube channel.
channel.
Yeah, she'll
Sandy
definitely
says
watch.
read. So, and
Yeah,
she loves dragons. She's got a whole series of
yeah.
dragon books.
Oh,
Yeah,
I bet she'll check
wow.
this out for sure. But
yeah.
that's a great segue. Let's talk about Rise of the Dragon's Heir in the upcoming
Yes.
series. I would like
Okay.
to get because you've given us a little nugget there. But yeah, give us an overview of this great series.
Okay, well, it's the series is called the Jandarian Chronicles because the capital city in the story is called Jandari, and it's named after a man whose name was John Dari. But as you know, language changes throughout the centuries, and after about 300 centuries, John Dari becomes Jandari. Not that that's important, but that's where the name comes from. And the dragon in the story is actually an entity, a disembodied entity. Kind of, I don't know if you're familiar with the Stargate series, but you know
Yes.
Yes.
how the
Yes.
Ga'uls are symbiotic? Well,
Mhm.
this entity is symbiotic, but he wants to present himself in a form that humans can identify with. So he takes on the persona of a dragon, and he finds a passage that says, and they worshiped the dragon. And he builds an entire culture and religion based upon that one passage. And as the years go by, he um he embodies, or he has to have a host, right? So his host has to be a genetic match, and it comes down to that the last host on the planet is a young man named Kamna. And when it comes time to take on the dragon, Kamna doesn't know he's the heir to this um, power. And if he chooses, if he doesn't take, if he doesn't accept his inheritance, well, then the girl that he loves and his best friend, their life is on the line and they're going to be killed. But if he does accept this inheritance, then he's going to become like, he has this great fear that he's going to become a monster. So,
Oh.
and the the dragon, the host that he inhabits throughout for 300 centuries, has it's been a cannibalistic religion with sacrifices and the whole 9 yards, and I kind of used a little bit of Mesoamerican mythos and pulled in different cultures and different ancient earth religions because this takes place 3,000 years in the future on a distant planet. So, and it spans, right now, I've got 4 novels in the works that it spans. It's a series of 4 different novels. And I don't want to give away everything, but
Well, yeah.
and then
Yeah.
it has all these potential, it's like a whole universe. And there's multiple religions, cultures, languages, and it's pretty expansive. I think, at least. I am the author. Of course, I would think that. But I did, like, in the first novel, you don't get all, you get a lot of that. But as the second and the third and the fourth come into play, you start meeting even more varied cultures. as they explore their new world. So
That's awesome. Yeah, because
Wow.
that's the challenge of a first book. You have to set the foundation,
yes,
introduce the world. There's a certain goals that you have to do in a first book that aren't necessarily as heavy on your shoulders on the second, third books once you've
yes.
gotten underway, and that's always a challenge. But it sounds like you're starting to unfurl the whole world that you have across the titles, and that's gonna be fun to watch that play out.
Yeah, I like to do I love psychology, by the way. I'm totally into like Jungian psychology. So I actually try to build my characters like based on cognitive types. So I think that's kind of different, that I actually do that. So yeah.
So do you have like
Nice.
an ensemble cast of characters, or do you just pretty much stick to main protagonist, antagonist kind of thing? What's your structure?
I have an ensemble. There is a main protagonist, and in the first book, and there's a main antagonist. But as it goes along, some of the other characters in the second and third book become more dominant. Even in the first book, some of the supporting characters take on dominant roles. By the time I get to the second and third book, characters take on lives of their own. And
Yes.
by the second book, some of the characters that were just kind of marginal in the first book, they start to become main players in the second book, the third book, and I even see a potential for like little spin-offs where the different characters have their own adventures. I love that. So
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
that
what we always we talk about that all the time about B characters. Never write off your B characters because you don't know when they're going to take a life of their own and be like,
yes,
"Hey, I'm the star of the show," and then you come up with a whole new spinoff.
yes. In the second book, there was this character named Ratez, and I initially intended to kill Ratez off. He was just supposed to be a supporting character, but he just refused to die. So he's still there. And
There
I'm
you go.
stuck. He won't die. So I got to keep him. He just won't die.
He just won't go away.
And then some of the ones that I started out with, I'm like, okay, they died. They just got killed. I'm like, okay, they surprised me, but that's all right. Um,
well, the good news about fantasy is if later you decide that you maybe wanted them back, in
Yeah,
fantasy there's always a way
oh yeah,
for him to
it's
be
true.
brought back.
Somebody can find an ancient manuscript and read them and resurrect them.
Right.
Yeah, that's it.
Well,
That's true.
that leads
Yep,
to a good
use some
question.
magic, and there you go.
a
Voila.
lot a
Yeah.
lot of fantasy readers that are hearing about your series will want to know though, what is the degree of that magic or the supernatural might play in your world? Is it minimal? Is it heavy present? What type of things do you have in that area?
That's a good question because I didn't even think of my book as fantasy, but people that read it and have started doing reviews are calling it epic fantasy. And I'm like, okay, whatever you want to call it, I'm good with that. Because technically it has no magic in it.
Nice.
Everything
Okay.
everything is actually based on it's actually scientifically based, but it feels like fantasy. Even though if you took the science, it's not hard science, but if you took the science out of the story falls apart.
Hmm.
So technically it's science, it's speculative fiction technically. However, people labeled it epic fantasy, and I think it's because it's called Rise of the Dragon's Heir.
Dragons.
Hmm.
And
Yeah,
that's even though there's absolutely no magic in it at
Hmm.
all, but there's mythology. There's a lot of mythology, um, but it's just that it's and from an anthropological anthropology perspective. I can't even get that word out.
that is a hard word. Yeah.
No, anthropological. I still can't get it out.
Anthropology.
Anyway, from that perspective, they've built cultures based on mythology, but there's
Hmm.
actually no magic done in it. It's more like it's
Very
religions
cool.
and superstitions.
Yeah.
Well, there you
but
go.
it's really science that is
Mm.
misappropriated as magic and
Magic.
religion. Yeah.
Well,
Well, there's
you know
it's
what they
kind
say
of,
that
a
the
science and magic go hand
farther
in hand.
the higher like quantum physics and
Yes.
physics theories go, the more
Yep.
like magic they seem to be.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's what I'm
It's like a
saying.
Yeah.
crossroads. Yeah,
See, and I love quantum physics.
yeah.
I'm working on a novel right now that is completely based on quantum physics, and I just
Ooh.
love
Ooh,
quantum physics. So
Then
I
do
ah,
you
do
love
you know what? I bet you would like the Hadron Collider then.
it.
probably so. Um,
Yeah, that's
I
something I
weave.
yeah, I love that colliders, the particle colliders.
I weave a lot of quantum. I just weave a lot of quantum theory into most
Mm.
everything. That's,
Oh yeah.
well, not so much my southern fiction, but all of my science fiction and epic fantasy. I just weave a lot of the quantum physics in there and quantum theory and um,
Nice.
a lot of mythology. Like I'm doing an audio series for Pocket FM, and it's based on Appalachian mythology. So
Nice.
just we've a lot. I love mythology.
Oh, I do too. I do
Mhm.
too. And on all the creatures we come up with, what is it? The Kentucky goblins. Have you
Yeah,
ever
Yeah,
looked?
Kentucky Goblins.
The Kentucky
yeah,
Goblin. I love the
They're
Kentucky
great.
Goblins. And what's so funny is our friends from Ohio were staying here, oh gosh, a couple of years ago, and they're like, "Have you ever heard of the Kentucky Goblins?" And we're like, "No, what is that?" And then they showed us, and I'm like, "Oh, this is a rabbit hole." You know,
yes.
but
Oh, it
it's
would have been funny if you'd have said, "Oh, they're my neighbors." No.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I know them
Well,
well. They sleep down the holler.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. But it is neat. What depending whatever region you're in, there is some kind of tale, of
Yes.
folklore, of mythology. And
uh-huh.
it's very interesting, and how similar creatures will be
Yes,
called different things in different
uh-huh.
regions, but
Mhm.
Yes.
they're like seen by all these people. So you think, well, there's something to this. There has to be. Look at the Bigfoot. I know we've never found one, but there's something. There's
Yeah.
something out there.
Well,
Yeah.
Darlene mentioned Mesoamerican type
Yes.
roots, and you go there and you can find their versions of the Fae. You can find
Yeah.
legends
Huh.
of giants, all the kinds of things that you could find in North America or even in
Hmm.
places in Europe, Middle East. I mean, it's amazing how in all the cultures there are common threads of the various things that are part of their mythologies. It's fascinating.
It
Well, we
Yeah.
go
is.
back to Pangea. You
Oh
think about
my.
a lot of these things. Yeah, go back, and it was all one big piece of land at one point. It
Yeah.
all broke apart. So I mean, things got scattered. You know, and here we
Yeah.
are. Hmm.
I love Pangea and Lumeria and all of these, you know, sunken cities and
Yeah.
Oh,
ancient
Atlantis.
stories.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh,
And
I
the
know. I've always loved Atlantis and
Me
the whole
too.
mythos around it, and I hope one day we truly do find it, but we
oh,
probably never will.
what
But I hope we do.
I was gonna say we're about to go on a Graham Hancock rabbit hole right now.
Yes.
With the idea of the Earth being, and civilizations being much older than what we're taught and what they theorize, right now, or
Hmm.
what's taught standard. You have a lot of megalithic structures that are ancient, and
Yes.
the concept of where Atlantis came from, and so the idea that there were, technological societies that existed far before all the history that we have written down. I mean,
Yes.
it's and if you go down that rabbit hole, there's a lot of very diligent researchers. I mentioned Graham Hancock as
Evidence.
one example, but yeah, they're very much on the trail, and they come up with stuff that really rattles the traditional thoughts and paradigms.
And
It's really
and I
fun.
do love that Darlene actually goes back to, I'm a retired nurse. So and I'm a huge Renaissance art fanatic. I love them. I love Renaissance art. And
Yeah, me
you
too.
go back to Da Vinci. I know you compare a lot of things to Da Vinci, and you because you like the mixture of the art and the science, and you
I
never really
do.
seen, the and there's really not a whole lot. I mean, look at all the Da Vinci's inventions and things he come up with, and I mean, he was a beautiful artist, wonderful artist, but
Yes.
yet he had this brain that, it was so scientific, based on, scientific finds, and was helping. He was actually helping the scientific community. They didn't want to admit it at the time, but he did,
He did. He
with
did.
the
Oh,
anatomy and
yes.
everything.
No,
Yes.
I have always been a Da Vinci fan. When I first enrolled in college, I was like 17, and they said, "What do you want to major in?" And I said,
Mhm.
"Art and science." And they said, because of the college I was going to at that time, they didn't offer that. And they said, "No, you can do art and humanities, or you can do math and science." I said, "I don't want art and humanities. I want art and science." They're like, "They don't go together." And I'm like, "Yes, they do." Because
Yes, they do.
yes,
Yeah.
they do. Art and science go together. In my mind, they do. And I
Hmm.
said,
100%.
and I was like, "Well, what about people who illustrate medical
Yeah.
manuals? And what about Leonardo da Vinci? He thought they went together." So,
Exactly.
yeah, I've always been a big Da Vinci fan, huge Da Vinci fan. So,
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
But,
me too.
yeah.
And
My,
that breaks us around to your art. I mean, you're
yes.
also prolific. You're a prolific
Yes.
artist and a musician. I want to hear about the art, definitely. And then I would love to hear what instruments you play and what kind of music.
okay. Well, I've been painting basically my whole life. I was painting for people when I was a teenager, and I just do commissions and murals, and
Ooh.
yeah, I sell prints, and
Mhm.
yeah, just go in. Like, I've done murals in a lot of in schools, restaurants, insurance offices, people's
Oh wow.
homes, just wherever. And I've designed steeples. I've designed burial monuments, tombstones. Uh,
Yeah.
um, I've whatever people ask to paint, I do that. And but my favorite thing I've done with art is I got to be a part of the Native Reflections art show. It's a traveling art show throughout the state of Kentucky, and it I've got to be a part of that twice. And it
Ooh.
culminates in the rotunda of the state capitol. And it's a traveling art show that goes to different out venues throughout the state of Kentucky, and it highlights Kentucky's Native American history. And a lot of people don't realize that Kentucky actually does have a really rich Native American population
Oh
and
yes.
history. So I
Well,
was
that's where
really,
the
really,
name Kentucky comes from.
yeah,
Yeah. I
Hmm.
mean, that comes from Native American roots. Yeah.
yeah, and I was just really super excited to get to be a part of that art show twice. And I think that's, to me, that's my crowning achievement, because I don't know it. I got to actually, I want to communicate. You can communicate things through pictures that you can't through words, but I think of painting as poetry with color, you know, and
Truly is. It truly
so
is.
yeah. So I have a little art studio, and when I'm not writing, I'm painting. So
Are you able to take some of your artworks to the live events that you do for the books? You
oh
get to
yes.
mix it up.
Yes, like, when I do the, TP thing in, Campbellsville, Kentucky,
Hmm.
I think it's the first weekend in November, I'm going to be doing live painting demonstrations and signing books, and people
Cool.
actually like to come around, because it's not something you see every day where somebody just sets up on the street or sets up in a park and paints and demonstrates it and sells it right there on the spot. And a lot of people really like that. And every year I do the Native Dawn Flute Festival. and I
Mhm.
set up and I paint in Fort Herod in Harrodsburg, Kentucky, and people like to purchase a painting that was done right there in the park, and they got to
Nice.
watch it being done. They really like that, and I like doing that. So
Are you doing? Well, I have to ask. Then, are you also doing book covers as well? Since you are an
Yes,
author.
I wanted to know that. Yeah.
well, I did my book cover,
There we
Neat.
go.
Okay.
Rise of the
Okay.
Dragon's Heir, and I haven't done other people's yet. I
Okay.
did get some people at the Imaginarium convention that asked me to contact them about doing magazine art because I don't use any
Ooh,
AI in my art or in my books. My novels are totally AI free, and my art
Mhm.
is
good.
totally AI free.
Good.
I use AI for other things like
Yes.
research. Um,
Yep.
Yep.
Same here. Same here.
yeah,
Yep.
but not for my writing and not for my art.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like I always say, I use it. I use it like I used to use Google, just to
yes,
Yeah.
explain it.
It's just a
So
quicker
people don't
way.
get too
Yeah.
confused. Yeah. It's
It
just
is.
to get.
It's a
Yeah.
quicker way
It's just
of
a little quicker
utilizing
finding
Google.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little quicker and
exactly.
gets a. But
Or an
it gets you
answer to
better.
something.
I
Or
think.
yeah.
I think directs you to better sources too, quicker.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
that's
But as
it. Yeah.
far as creativity, no.
Yeah. I'm
No,
with you.
no.
No.
And it's very limited for creativity, actually. So I don't. No, I
Well,
like my
AI.
brain better.
Well, I tell you what. I mean, it's got you do physical art. I mean, paintings and things like. Yeah, that's not something AI can emulate.
No, they
yeah,
cannot. They
No.
cannot.
Not at all.
You
yeah. So
can't watch AI just stand there, out of and make up something out of the blue
Mm-mm.
on the spur of the moment and
right.
actually produce a physical piece of art and
Yep.
make it personal to that person that wanted
Yeah.
it, and that's
Right.
pretty cool. And I used to set up at festivals and do like people would sit down in my chair and I would draw their faces.
Oh
But
yeah.
Mhm.
I don't do that as much anymore because I have to really pay attention.
Yeah.
Yeah. Faces to me are the hardest thing
Yeah.
to draw. So if you can do that, it is definitely a natural born talent. It is because it's hard to capture, especially the eyes.
Yeah.
It's the
Yeah.
eyes
So,
and
and that
hands,
just it takes a lot of concentration to do. I mean, I could do caricatures, but I don't really like doing that. I just
right?
like I just want to paint. I just like
Yeah.
I just want to throw some color on that canvas and have some fun, you know. Um So, yeah, that's what I do when I set up in the park now, and people get to take home pictures, and I get to have a conversation with them, and then we talk about books, and we talk about, and I really like connecting with people that way. So,
Well, I'm guessing that you have read a lot of different things. Like you have a widespread, genres and things like that. So, who are some of your favorite authors? You could they could be the ones that are inspirational to you, or ones that your favorites now.
okay.
Who are some
Oh,
of those?
let me look right here on this shelf, and I'll tell you because I'm down here where my books are at.
Nice.
Okay, I have a book called. Well, I haven't read that one yet, so let's not talk about it. I have a book by Lee Smith. I have a lot of Lee Smith books.
Yeah.
So I have a book by Sandra Kring, who is a who was a really good friend of mine. Oh, Paul Stansberry. You might know Paul.
Yes.
We
Paul's
do know
awesome.
Paul.
The
Yes,
great
Yeah.
Paul
love Paul.
Stansberry.
And
Great
of
writer
course,
too.
Anne McCaffrey. She's like my
Yeah.
favorite
Oh,
fantasy
oh,
writer.
yeah.
I like her. Oh,
Phenomenal.
Andre. Oh, what's her last name? Norton. Andre Norton. She was what I
Norton.
cut my teeth on. No kidding. Um, let's see. Oh, I have a lot of books that are nonfiction because nonfiction is where I get my ideas for fiction a lot of times.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and I have Linwood Montel. You all might know him.
Mhm.
And I have James Steele. And golly, I got a lot of Lee Smith. Uh,
I-
she's a
She's gonna
hillbilly
find
like
books she
me.
hasn't seen in years.
Yeah.
yeah.
got all kinds
That's
of.
it. If we go digging, I'll be like,
Yeah.
oh, I haven't seen that in a long time.
Oh, and I got to tell you, I still love Mark Twain. I
Yeah.
totally
Oh,
love
well,
Mark Twain.
yes.
Oh
I
yeah.
I do. Oh, there's Albert Einstein, The Theory of Relativity. Got to have that.
Nice.
And there's
Nice.
Tolkien. But I have
Oh
to
yes.
Oh,
tell you,
Tolkien.
C.S. Lewis. He's like my
There you
Oh,
all-time
go. All
favorite.
right.
there's Steven's two
You-
favorite,
Yeah,
Tolkien
you're
and
speaking
C.S.
my
Lewis.
language now.
I, no, I have to tell you, I've read all of Lewis's science fiction stuff.
Yes.
Prelandra, Out of the Silent Planet, That
Yep.
Hideous Strength. I love them all.
Yeah.
Uh,
Phenomenal books. Very
Lewis,
relevant to today.
yeah, Lewis
Yeah.
is my guy. I love C.S. Lewis.
Yes.
Um,
And the
yeah.
Screw Tape Letters. What a brilliant book.
Oh my gosh, don't I know
Talk
it?
about on the nature of evil. That is one of the most insightful books ever written about that
Yes,
topic.
So,
yes,
so
And
who were your
yeah,
early inspirations? Was Lewis one of your like earliest
yes,
inspirations to write?
yes. And
Yes.
ironically, it was not the Chronicles of Narnia. It
Okay.
was his science fiction books.
That's
It
what bit
was,
you.
yeah, the space.
yeah,
This, yeah, the,
Yeah.
the Prelandra, the Out of the Silent
mhm.
Planet, That Hideous Strength, the Screw Tape Letters, God in the Docks,
Yeah, the
uh,
space trilogy. The space
Nice.
Space
trilogy. Yeah,
Trilogy. Yeah.
yeah,
So Lewis, yeah, I think
classic
C.S.
stuff.
Lewis, yeah, he's one of my favorite. And I have to say, Daybreak 3000 AD. That was one of the, I think I was 13 when I read that. Uh, got bit by the bug.
Yep.
Yep.
Also, Dune was one of my earliest books I
Dune.
read.
Well, Frank
Uh,
Herbert there. All right.
yes. Um, and then the late, boy, what was the name of that one? Wait a minute. They made a movie about it even later on. Um, Battlefield Earth. Uh,
Yes, L. Ron
Yes.
Hubbard.
yes, that one.
Yeah.
L.
Yeah.
Ron Hubbard. Jules Verne. Oh my gosh, I love Jules
Oh
Uh-huh.
yeah.
Verne. Journey to the Center of the Earth, 20,000 Leagues Under
Yeah.
the Sea, H.G.
Fun.
Wells. I love the classic science fiction books,
Yes.
the
Oh,
retro
I
stuff.
love going back and revisiting them. I love
Well,
Yeah,
going back and
that's the
visiting the pulp era.
masterpieces, right? They
yes,
And
paved the way. They paved the
they,
way of modern, science fiction.
yeah, Asimov, uh, Arthur C. Clarke. So those are the people I read initially. And then I started writing, and I don't read as much anymore because I can't. Every time I read something, I want to write.
Yes.
you know what I find interesting about the early books, like in the pulp era and all, they were written for just general audiences. Just they weren't written for like a high literary level. They were just mainstream. And if you go
Yeah,
back and look at a lot of them, they use a much broader range of vocabulary than what you see
Yes.
in published books today. I mean, it just blows my mind when I go back and read some of that stuff. The range of vocabulary and nuance and word choice and yeah, there's a lot to enjoy if you're into reading and language and writing.
yeah.
I mean, there's a lot
Well, they
to
didn't
look at back
text.
there.
So their speech was a whole lot broader than
Yeah,
what we've used today. We have really
yeah,
dumbed it down, so to say, because
Well, I'm
yeah.
yeah.
glad you
In
said
many
that.
ways.
When I first sent out Rise of the Dragon's Heir initially years ago, one of my rejection slips actually came back and said, "This book." I mean, I totally don't believe this, but one of the rejection slips actually said, "This book takes too much intelligence to read. You need to keep in
Oh my
mind that
God.
the
Oh
Wow.
my
average
God.
reader, you need to write it. You need to write adult concepts where that an 8-year-old can understand them." And I'm like, what? So that was what one of my rejection slips said.
Well, that's
Wow.
not it. Well, that's certainly not a condemnation of your work. It's
I know, but I don't know. I think I saved that rejection slip somewhere. It's in a
I
you
would
file
need to
here.
keep that.
definitely say it
I would
because
definitely
that is
keep that.
actually a great review of your book.
Yes.
Yeah,
I would use that as
yeah, I would
a
use that as
blurb.
a
I would use that as
testimony.
a promo for your book.
Yes,
Yeah,
say
That's
this
why it
was
was
actually a
rejected.
rejection.
yeah,
And I'm like, come on, it's written on an 8th grade level. No
yeah.
kidding. Any
If
13-year
I
old should be able to pick it up and understand it.
if you put a book like that and to sell it to me, I would actually be wanting to buy it because I think, "Oh, that's
Yes.
check this out."
Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
as Stephen's editor, he's got a YA series, and Stephen writes at that level.
Yeah.
His dialogue and his word choice is vast, right? And he likes to use big words,
Me
very
too.
very great adjectives, the not normal everyday speech, and he throws these in there, and they're great. But I have told him, and he's YA. I'm like, Stephen, these teenagers and young adults are not going to understand what this word is. And there's sometimes I've had to look up a word. I'm like, if I've got to look it up, I know they're not going to understand this word.
It
That
happens,
is
but
too funny.
oh well.
Well,
I
and
get
then
carried away.
another criticism that I have gotten, and I think every science fiction and fantasy writer gets this. If you're writing and somebody picks up your book and they're not into science fiction and fantasy, they say, well, why'd you give them all these complicated names for? Why didn't you name them Bobby and Susie and John?
Oh yes,
And
Yes,
yes,
I'm
I
like,
know
well,
what you mean.
because they're living on another planet 3,000 years in the future, and it's a whole different language,
Culture
and
and everything.
in a
Yeah,
yes,
different culture. And Bobby, Susie, and John just, I mean, those are great names, but I just
yeah.
don't think that'll be their
that's
names 3,000
no.
years in the future, especially not after me being a teacher in the public school. And I know that people are naming their names things like Chiquita, Chicana, and stuff like that.
Yes,
Yeah. Well, I mean,
that's true.
yeah. If you're going to do any kind of cultural setting, I mean, that'd be like doing, like my latest book was on, inspired by the Aztec world. That'd be like
Yeah,
me going in with names like Bob or Susie in the Aztec world,
yeah.
and that just
Right.
doesn't work. It just,
Old Fred drew his bow. Yeah, I
yeah,
mean, yeah, that's
it just
ridiculous.
just
Yeah,
doesn't work.
yeah,
You have to have authenticity to whether that's an invented culture or you're basing it on a real one. I mean, you have to have some authentic stuff in there.
I gotta say, when Holly said that, I thought of Fred Flintstone. Okay, what can I say?
it's
Oh, that's too
true.
funny.
So I mean, they'll say that, and I'm like, are you serious? Are you
Mhm.
see? Just think how silly that would sound.
Yeah,
If you've got, yeah, like, they're in the future, they're on a different planet, they're, a whole different race of people, they're not going to be named our common names.
No, they're
right.
definitely not. They're
Uh-oh.
definitely not.
No, they're
Somebody had a
not.
crash. I don't know what that
Yeah,
was.
it was just some doors or something upstairs.
Yeah, I was gonna
Oh,
say
I thought it was one of our
or
teenagers running
cats.
around,
No,
our
or the cat
grandchildren running around, and
or
or
the
a cat.
cats.
We have 3 cats, so
And we
one's
have
in
two
here
that had
asleep on me, so
the other two had the zoomies, so it would be possible that they would
it would
create a
be
crash
possible.
like that.
Well,
So
I have cats too, so it could
yeah,
have been a cat upstairs.
Oh,
you know how it goes.
have you painted animals?
Oh
That's a
yeah, I
you have.
definitely, yes. I've done a
Uh
lot
oh.
of animals for people.
Uh oh.
Yeah.
we're
Uh-oh.
gonna. We're gonna have to commission
Uh-oh.
a Albert and Vicky portrait, a stately one,
Yes,
because
we have Queen Victoria, Prince Albert, and Prince
and
Leopold.
Leopold. Yeah.
So,
Oh, well, listen, I'll send you a picture of some animals, set up some pictures. You can take a look at them.
Yeah,
yes,
that's cool.
that would be so cool to have them, holding the crown and a
That would be cute,
scepter, and
wouldn't it? That would be
yeah,
very cute.
But now, I do want to also touch on, because we've been talking about you read a lot of kinds of literature. We talk about your series that has been classified as fantasy, but as I understand it, it sounds like it's a cross genre. It's got some
Yeah.
science fiction
science
elements,
fiction.
things like
Hmm.
that. It's
And
very,
character
it's
driven.
broader. Yeah, it's character driven,
There are
and
so many
but
sub genres now.
yeah,
It
there are.
Yeah.
I mean, you
But
could pretty much invent your own.
But you are an award-winning poet. So when you are doing your shows,
Nice.
you also bring your other works with you, and tell us a little bit about your poetry releases and other books.
Yeah, so I've written poetry like since I was a kid, like when I was a teenager I wrote it and hid it because I was afraid people might read it
Yeah.
when I was a teenager. I wrote stories and hid them too. I wasn't brave enough to put them out there.
Yeah.
But as a teenager I wrote poetry and I hid it. And then when the I don't know, early 2000s I got online and I posted under a pseudonym. My pseudonym was Nochipa, and an Aztec word. And I posted a poem on a poetry forum, and a magazine editor saw it, and he said, I have an online e-zine, and I'd really love to publish your poem. And I said, well, okay, but just don't put my real name on it, you know.
Right.
Um, and that's how I got started. And I just continued writing, and I joined some online poetry forums, and I became, I guess I am what you call a minimalist poem. And that is, I try to say the most profound thing I can say with the fewest words possible. And I have like this little formula that I use, and it is for every abstract concept, I need three concrete images, whether it's smell or sight or sound, because I have this thing where that I want to make the abstract tangible so that people can relate to it. And I put together a group, a thing of poetry in like 2012, and sent it off to a little contest and didn't think anything about it. And I ended up winning, and it was like nationwide, and I ended up winning and got paid for it and
Nice.
everything. I thought, wow. So
Yeah.
Nice.
yeah, and that was the
That's
Mary
cool.
Ballard Poetry Award.
Yeah.
So
Well,
Congrats.
anyway,
congratulations.
so poetry is like, okay, this is going to sound terrible, but it's true. Poetry is like eating pizza to me.
Yeah,
Nice.
You know what I
I
mean
love
by
it.
it's a
that?
Yeah.
treat.
It's a treat. I write poetry, and it's like getting
Yep.
something good to eat. And I'm like, wow, I got paid for poetry. That's like getting paid to eat something you like,
Right.
you
Right.
know? So it's like, yay. So, yeah, so I do write poems and songs and
Nice.
just,
Well, I want you to know, Darlene, I did officially join the Kentucky State Poetry Society. I did.
Yeah.
So I am a member. So
And I
I'm going
plan
to do my
to.
part to support the
well, I
Yes.
need
poetry
to
community. Yes.
rejoin. I need to rejoin. I used to be a
It's
long-standing member, and I've let it slack and slip. And
Yep.
I need to rejoin.
I want to join too. We're all
yeah.
going to be a one big
I got
family.
young Addison, our grandchild has
Yeah.
joined, and she is an aspiring poet. So yeah,
Hmm.
we love poetry. Yeah. So we love
Yes.
Yay!
this
Yay!
part
Well,
of your work.
listen,
Yeah.
we talked at the on the poetry panel at the Imaginarium
Yeah.
convention. We talked about having a poetry slam.
Yes.
Yes.
That would be
Yes.
fun.
I think
That
it
would
would
be
be fun.
fun. I
Yeah.
Yes.
agree.
Make a note, Holly. Make a note.
Oh, I have made a note on that. I've been wanting to do that for a while,
I just
and
think
I
that would be
just
so
didn't
cool.
have enough poets, but I do now.
Oh God, we do.
Woohoo!
Yeah, we got
I
Woohoo!
Maxwell
do
Gold.
now.
Maxwell Gold's coming this year. We've got a lot of
Yep.
people. WBJ
Yep.
Williams, who I just told you about just yesterday, I think he's coming in. Yeah,
Oh
it's
yeah,
a
we've got
lot of poets.
several
And
poets now.
and Katerina Stoikova, who is the
Yep.
president of the Kentucky State Poetry Society, is
Oh
making her
wow!
first
Yep.
Imaginarium
She
appearance.
I
Yes.
she
look forward
definitely
to
has
that.
to
So
read one. She will definitely
yes.
have to do it.
And of course the legendary, of course, Lee Pennington. You have to mention Lee
Well,
when you're
yes,
talking about
Mr. Lee,
poetry in Kentucky. I mean, that's
our
goes
Yes,
without
beloved
saying. Yeah,
treasure, Lee.
yeah, we
yes.
love Lee. He's amazing. We
I love
adore him.
Lee. I got to
Yeah,
meet him for the first time at Imaginarium.
really.
Really?
Okay, well
Yeah.
that makes me feel good. Yeah, you got to.
Yeah.
Aw.
Yeah.
And we immediately hit it off. He walked up to my booth. I didn't know him. He didn't know me. And we just hit it
He's the
off.
best. Oh, he's the
And
best.
I was thrilled to actually meet him. I didn't have a clue that was him.
Well,
Well,
if you had wizards in your books, and he would
that
make a
yeah, he's
perfect look for
definitely
a
looks
wizard.
like a wizard.
Actually, I took some photographs of him. I told
Yes.
him I might paint his picture.
You should.
Oh, you
Yeah,
It'd be
should.
so.
That'd be
Yeah,
neat.
it would be
because
That
he
so
would be
does.
nice.
neat.
There's a character in Rise of the Dragon's Heir. Um,
Hmm.
he's called Cleton, and he's an oracle. And in my mind, he looks like Lee Pennington.
I could see
There
that.
you go. There you
I
go.
could definitely see that.
Hey Holly, then Lee could
Yep.
cosplay that character and maybe win the contest. You know, at
Yes,
That's
Imaginarium.
all we've got
true.
to do, we just need to give him two things. He
Yeah.
needs a knobby cane, and he needs some long curly fingernails.
Well,
Well,
I
that
I
can
bet
both
he
be
has
done.
he probably owns a knobby cane because he probably has something cool like that, sitting
Yes,
around his house.
yes.
But we can go without the fingernails. It's okay. Nobody will notice.
But
He's
yeah,
I
got
say
the beard.
we could always figure that out. We've got
yeah,
special effects
oh
artists,
yeah,
we got
That's
we
right.
have SF
filmmakers.
artists.
We
We
can
can make
figure
it
that out.
happen.
That's right.
Mhm, mhm.
Oh,
Oh, that'd be
he's
great.
awesome. But that'd be great. Let us know if you do decide to paint him because I want to see that for
Okay.
sure.
Well, if I paint him,
That would
I'll
be.
bring it to the Imaginarium conference.
Oh, that would be
Yeah,
wonderful.
Oh,
that would be
everybody would
so
love that.
cool
That
to
would be
paint
People
cool.
would
Lee.
love that. Yeah,
Yes, because
I should
everybody
totally do
loves
that.
Lee. That would be
yeah,
awesome. And do you know Lee is also a musician?
yeah.
No, I
Yes,
didn't.
very talented man.
He's toured with some big bands. The
Yeah,
Eagles, I know for sure, but yeah,
yeah,
he's been around. He can tell some stories. His
yeah. Some
stories are
stories are
the
incredible. Yeah,
best. The
yeah,
Wow.
best. Yes.
yeah,
He is a great uh all around. I don't know what you would call him. He is
yeah.
a
True
just a
Renaissance.
well-rounded a
True
Renaissance
Renaissance
man.
man. Yeah, yeah,
That's
definitely.
the truth. Yeah, because he does, and he's a historian and
Yeah,
all
That
that
I
too.
do
So
a lot of
know.
good stuff.
He is big into Welsh history. He knows more about
Yeah,
Welsh history than anyone I've ever met.
yeah,
isn't that
yep,
amazing?
It
That's
yep.
is.
amazing.
And of course, he runs the Ancient Kentucky Historical Society,
Yeah,
Yes.
we haven't
has
got up there
amazing
to one
stuff.
of
Yeah,
these meetings yet,
we've
but
got
I
to.
want
Yeah,
to. We've got to go up. Yeah,
mhm.
we're in that little group
Yeah,
on
the
Facebook now,
yeah,
but yeah, I would love to go up to one of these
yeah.
little
Check that out
sessions.
sometime. Yeah,
Mhm.
but
Wow.
but now, in addition to your poetry, one thing that we haven't covered yet that I want to make sure we do touch base on is you are writing an audio series for Pocket FM.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
that's really cool too.
Thank
So tell
you.
us about the experience of writing an audio series and where
It
this is going.
is challenging
Yeah,
because it's an everyday thing. Um, the thing is keeping, because it's not like an audio book where that it's all neatly wrapped up. Think of
yeah,
it like a TV series, and it could be, some TV series have 2 seasons, and some have 10, some have 20, like
yeah,
Gunsmoke. Um, so each episode is like its own mini. It's an episode. It's not really a chapter. It's an episode. So I have to keep coming up with new things for these characters to do, and I have
yeah,
to begin every episode with a hook and end it with a cliffhanger, and
Yep.
I have to have some kind of emotional investment in
yeah,
every episode. So mine is called My Lovely Intruder, and it's classified on there as romantasy. I'm not sure that's what I would classify it as, but
yeah,
they have narrow categories, and you
yeah.
have to be put into something.
Right.
I would
And that,
classify it's. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was going to say that's the big buzzword genre right now. So that's probably what they're doing to get
Romantically. Yep.
Yeah,
more
Yep.
attention to you. Yeah,
yeah, that's probably why they use that. I would classify it more as it's built on Appalachian mythology, and it does have romance in it, because people like that, and it has a little bit of a. I wouldn't call it gothic. It's just got a little bit of a. mm, I don't know, supernatural. That's the word
yeah,
I would use. Supernatural, but not vampires and werewolves, because no zombies, no vampires, no werewolves, because everybody does zombies and vampires and werewolves. And I do ancient spirits and forgotten myths and legends and something that people haven't encountered yet. So sometimes when you do something new, people are like, "Oh, I've never heard of that," but other times they're like, "I've never heard of that." So
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
People are hungry too for,
yeah,
new things too. And
Sure
yeah,
they
I
are.
mean, I'm a vampire. Yes, I'm a vampire through and through, but yeah, I love, other learning about other ancient beings and creatures and things I've never heard of. And
yeah.
it's, Stephen does the research like you do, and comes up with, these ancient lore and all these stories, and yeah, it's fascinating.
And even with vampires, I like it when there's a different spin put on it. And by the
Yes,
way,
always a fresh spin.
you'll love this, Holly. I am like literally, truly medically verified allergic to garlic.
Really?
Yes, I can't eat it, so I'm just saying. I might be a
Well,
vampire.
Oh.
do you like the taste of iron?
Well, I do have braces, so
Well, there you go. Well, she's my kind of gal.
I'm really truly allergic to garlic. That's not true.
Well,
Yeah.
And I
that's
actually had somebody in my family tree whose name was Drock. Their last name was Drock.
nice.
Yeah,
Love
for
that.
Uh-oh.
real. So I'm
Love
just
Now,
that.
saying. Yeah, I'm just saying.
Hey, hey.
yeah,
Just
you
so
are
that you
intriguing
know.
Holly now. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh boy, I tell you, yeah, yes, yes. I am intrigued. Yes.
Now, now the audio says, where can folks get a chance to listen to it, to check it out? Is it
For the
available
audio,
now?
yeah, just for the audio series, go to Pocket FM, and
Uh-huh.
in the search icon, just type in "My Lovely Intruder." It may come up as The Guardian. That was the original name, and it still shows up as that on the app sometimes. I don't
Mhm.
know why. That's a glitch that has nothing to do with the author. It's a
Okay.
Ah,
glitch in the system.
Yep. Yeah, that happens. Good old
Yeah.
tech.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, it does.
Yeah, I
So,
want to definitely check that out. That sounds like a lot of fun. Yeah, 'cause I love people that dig into lore that's not common. Yeah, so
yeah. And
that's
I'm
right up my
Yeah,
writing
alley.
it on the go, so it's like every
Yeah,
day I'm turning out another
something new.
episode. So, you
that's
know,
cool. That's
so
cool.
and sometimes they have AI read it and it makes glitches sometimes that has nothing
Yeah,
to do with me. I keep telling everybody, if it sounds weird, don't blame the author. I didn't write
right.
it that way, I swear.
Yeah,
I didn't write it like
I'm not
that.
reading it. I just write
yeah.
it.
Just write it.
Exactly.
That
Exactly.
that's a cool exercise, though. I mean, it's as a
Yeah.
writer, being able to, yeah, like you said, having to have a hook and end on a cliffhanger and make people engage with the character.
Yeah.
Again. That's definitely, yeah,
And
definitely honing your chops there.
Oh
churn
yeah.
Right,
out
on
about
the writing side.
2,000 words a day every single day. So,
Woo,
Yeah, that's a good load.
that's impressive.
Workout.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that is
yeah, very much
impressive.
so.
There's bound to be mistakes because, you can't. When you write a novel, you get to have an editor edit it for you and everything before you turn it out there. But when you're turning out 2,000 words a day, that's got to be published on the same day that you write it. You don't
Ooh,
always have that luxury. So,
Yeah,
and
that is pressure.
not everything on that app is good, but
yeah.
mine's pretty good.
Yeah. Well, that's the way it is in any market. There's going to be
Yeah.
some duds, and then
But
there's
I
going to be
tell
some
you
good stuff.
that's a new and upcoming field because yeah, we know filmmakers that are doing audio drama series.
Hmm.
Um
Devin
and
Hilton and Tim Miller.
yeah,
Yeah,
Devin Hilton and Tim Miller. It's a western, and they did their first few episodes at Imaginarium last year and presented it,
yep.
and it
Rapture at
was
Silver Creek. Yeah,
so cool, so cool. And they're going to release the next episodes here shortly. And I can't wait because
yeah.
they
It's
had
amazing.
they had professional voice performers and and they got all this background noise, the clopping of the horses and all that stuff. Yeah, I mean, you're getting into a field that's a groundbreaking. You're breaking ground because this is something
Yeah.
a whole new avenue for
Yeah.
I
authors.
miss, and like I said, I always get that one word mixed up. Rapture at Silver Coin. Rapture at
I
Silver
say
Coin.
creek too. I always
Yeah,
do.
I always
And it's
say creek.
coin.
I don't know why I default
Sorry,
at that.
Devin and Tim, but
Yeah,
we
it's always
always want to think
because I always
creek.
think of Silver Creek, but it's not.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's
coin.
Silver Coin.
Yeah.
Rapture
Yes,
at Silver Coin. Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, that's a cool thing. But yeah, the audio stuff is really
it's booming.
growing. It really
It
is.
is. It is. And well, I love doing it. I mean, I think I'm getting to. It is a challenge, and I love it. So, and that's reason enough to do it.
That's
Yep.
right.
That's the
Yep.
key thing. If you don't love it, yeah, find something else to do. Yeah, because
Right.
Yeah.
it's the path of a storyteller or writer, as you know, is not the easiest and definitely not the most lucrative for most. So
No, it's
it's
not.
it's
But
a tougher road.
I'd
But
rather do
yes,
it
you gotta
than
love it.
any. Yeah,
Yep,
I'd rather do it than just anything else.
absolutely,
You know.
absolutely.
And
Well,
that's the main thing.
Now that folks have gotten a chance to meet you a little bit tonight, I do want to give you a chance to tell folks where to follow you and connect with you. What sites or social media platforms do you want people to find you at?
Okay, well, I am on Facebook. I'm Darlene Franklin Campbell on
Mm-hmm.
Facebook, and I have a writer's page. I think it's called Dardette Art, and just follow my personal one because that's where I
Yeah,
spend most of my time when I'm on there. And then I am Dardette Art on at Dardette Art on Instagram. So I'm on Facebook and Instagram, and I do have a blog, but it's kind of defunct right now. I'll get it back up soon. And then, of course, I have a website, and it's Darlene Franklin Campbell author.com.
nice. Darlene Franklin Campbell author.com.
Yes.
Great. Great. Yeah, because I want definitely hope folks, pick up your new book in the series,
Mm,
Rise of the Dragon's Heir. That's gonna. I hope people will get a chance to check that out and all your stuff definitely,
thank
and
you.
definitely I'd encourage folks to check out your artwork as well.
Yes.
But is there anything that we have not covered tonight that you're hoping to get out there? I think.
Oh,
I,
one more thing.
oh,
The
one more thing.
music. What instruments do you play and what music do you perform?
Well, mostly I play guitar,
Okay.
um, and I love folk music. I love
Okay.
folk
Nice.
music. So,
Me too.
I do
I
too.
yeah, so I do a few cover things, you know. I like old Bob Dylan tunes, and I like Emmylou Harris, and
Yeah.
I like, yeah, just even like old mountain songs. I like
Yep.
doing like
Oh yeah.
literally
Oh
like old
yeah.
folk music. So
Yeah. Nice stuff. Yeah, yeah. Everybody thinks I listen to nothing but metal and hard rock all the time, but Holly's come out and I've been listening to. Yeah, I might be listening to Gordon Lightfoot. You never
I
know. So
love Gordon Lightfoot.
yeah, so I do listen to
And then,
definitely some
well,
stuff
he
like
gets tickled at me because you don't never know. I'm either listening.
Norwegian folk music. Yes,
Yeah,
different.
I'm listening
Yeah,
to Norwegian folk music, or it could be Beethoven or Mozart, and then it might be Pantera. It may be,
yeah.
I'm all over the
Yeah.
place.
Well,
Well,
now
her Norwegian folk music is what I call Viking music. It really
Viking.
is.
Oh,
Yes,
I
I
like.
love my
Oh,
Viking
Viking
music.
music.
okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say something to you in Viking. Okay,
Ooh,
old Norse. It came
okay.
from Loitzelfheim,
Oh,
and that means I
I,
came from the land of the elves.
I
Nice.
love it. Oh no! Oh my! I have to learn this
Yeah.
now.
Well, I kind of
Oh
figured you
my!
did, Darlene. Yeah.
Elves are oh, I love elves. Stephen knows.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
love
I
my
love
when I
elves
played
too.
D&D, I'm an elf.
I
That's
love
But I
elves.
encourage people to learn about the Norse elves because it's not
yes.
quite Tolkien.
They're
It's not
not
like you
warm and
see in,
fuzzy.
yeah, they're not warm and fuzzy necessarily.
No,
So
they are not. But
yeah.
however, I did tell kids at school that the reason I'm so petite is because I'm half elf.
Nice.
Nice.
See, we got a scoop on the Star Chamber show. Yes, found out
I
Darlene is
love that.
a half elf. All right.
That's why I'm so short. Although Token's elves are tall and slender.
They are. They are.
Intended to be, yeah, in his description. But like I said, there's lots of folklore with elves, and certainly there are others of shorter stature. So you're
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. And of course, in the Native American legend, although I'm not
Yeah.
allowed to talk about them or name them after dark, but there
Yeah.
are some people of a smaller stature. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
there are.
I know what you're talking about.
I
Yes.
know what
Yes.
you're
Yes.
talking about too. Yes.
Yep. That is true.
Yeah. Can't name
That's
them
all.
after dark though. Can't say their
That's
name.
right. That's right.
That's part of the lore.
Right. They're like a gremlin.
Yeah.
Well, we'll do a daytime
So feed them after
episode.
midnight. Too.
We'll do a daytime episode so we can speak openly then.
There you go. There you go. I love it.
But thank you so much, Darlene, for coming aboard tonight, because this has been a great first visit, and what I hope will be the first of many to come. And certainly, you're coming to your second Imaginarium next summer, and I can't wait to see you again there too. But I'll see you before then, because I'm going to try to get out to one of your events for sure.
Oh, wow. And there's always the Gene Penn Lane.
Yes.
And all the gravel switch things. So
yes. Absolutely,
a lot of cool stuff happening.
Yeah, I just know. Yeah, a lot of cool stuff happening is basically a description of your every week.
Yes,
you have a lot of cool stuff happening. But I'll turn it over to Holly to close out the show with you. But thank you so much for being such an amazing guest tonight.
Well, thank you both.
Yes, thank you. And don't be a stranger. And we want to hear more and how you do at these Kroger signings. I'm interested to hear how you do.
Well, you might want to do Kroger too.
Yeah, that's true. Let's go Krogering, right?
Yes, and sell some books in the process.
That's right. That's right. Well, thank you so much. And yes, everyone check out her website, Darlene Franklin Campbell. And
author.com.
There you go. author.com.
That's right.
And it'll have all your stuff. So thank you. And you have a great evening. And everyone out there in listener land, join us next Wednesday, same time, same place, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard. Another great guest, another great chat. Rest of the week, be creative. Good night, all.
Good night.